Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here to talk about the battery life on the Pixel 6 Pro. There seems to be some points of contention on it and some concerns because generally I think most people kind of thought it was getting decent battery life, and then all of a sudden we have a couple of claims where it's getting not so great battery life, and that's caused a little bit of confusion, or at least concern, because it wasn't really brought up in the initial reviews. I don't think, at least anyway, that the battery life was terrible. I didn't really think anything of it. I've been getting about 6 hours of screen on time with mine, and for somebody who kills their phone battery every single day, I've been pretty happy with that. So I want to talk about in this video how you can go in and see what kind of screen on time you're getting, what your battery life is like, maybe what you should expect, what you should be concerned with if you're not getting decent battery life, and just kind of put it in a position where you can make your own determination on things, and also maybe a couple settings you can mess with if you want to try and get better battery life. So before we get into this, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about the battery life on the Pixel 6 Pro. Alright, so there's been a lot of drama when it comes to the battery life on the Pixel 6 Pro. This one, I'm pretty happy with it. I actually had made another video previously, but I scrapped that one and came back to this one because I want to go more in depth, show you all some of the statistics and the metrics that I'm getting, show you how you can see them on your own, so that way you can verify your own data and see what kind of usage you're getting. So with the Pixel 6 Pro, I'm getting about 6 hours of screen on time on average, between about 10 to 20%. Now this one right now I'm at 8%. About the first hour and a half I used the phone as screen on time. I didn't realize I had it on 100% battery. I have adaptive brightness off. See, it's actually on 100 right now. So I've been burning it up all day. And that's just something that's going to kill your battery life. But 6 hours screen on time, I think for a flagship phone, Android-wise, is really good. It doesn't compete so much with Apple directly. But on Android, I had the Note 20 Ultra this last year. Didn't get great battery life with that. I had the S21 Ultra. I hated the battery life on it. 5,000 milliamp battery. I was getting like 4.5 hours screen on time. And then the OnePlus 9 Pro. Kind of similar situation. About 4.5. This one, 6. Without me trying to do anything to save it. So whenever you get the phone, it's advertised, Google says, all day adaptive battery. So you got adaptive brightness. You got adaptive battery. All sorts of different adaptive features that uses the machine learning, the AI, all that stuff to get the most out of your battery life. So to check your battery life, you can do it two ways. You can scroll down and go to settings, and then you can go down here to battery right here, and then you can go to battery usage. And this gives you kind of an indicator of what it looks like for the past 24 hours. I don't like what Google has done here. You used to could very, very easily see what your screen on time was, and now you cannot. So you have to go through all these different hoops to try and get there. So you can see your usage here. You have to go down to the bottom, click on system usage for past 24 hours, pulls up screen on time. We're looking at 10 hours and 26 minutes. That's for the last 24 hours, not since you charged it. What you want to know is since you charged it. 10 hours of screen on time since the last 24 hours looks pretty good, right? Well, not in the context of what we did since we last charged it. So right here you can see I was at 100%, and then we have to look at each one of these blocks individually, and they don't even have it hour by hour. It's over a 2-hour basis. So this is from 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, and I actually killed this thing in like 9 hours basically, but I was using it heavily and trying to kill it, so that's why. So go down here, we'll scroll to the bottom. Got an hour and 16 minutes for the first 2-hour block. So that's 1 hour, 16 minutes. Second block, look again. Second block, hour and 6 minutes. So that's 2 hours and, 16 plus 6, 22. So 2 hours and 22 minutes. We'll go to the next one. And we're looking at 2 hours here. So that's 4 hours and 22 minutes. And then the last block again, looking at 2 hours. So I'm looking at 6 hours and 22 minutes screen on time total. That's about on average with what I'm getting. That's pretty consistent for me, and that's how you can go check your own. You have to do this math to figure it all out. It's not plain as day, and most people typically are going to get a full day out of this. Like whenever it comes to my Z Flip 3, I'm only getting about 3.5 to 4 hours of screen on time. So this right here, I had heard that MKBHD made his video. This is nothing against him whatsoever. Everyone uses their phones different. But I was surprised because I thought maybe he's got a defective unit. Maybe there's something else going on. Maybe he's got something killing the battery behind it and just, maybe hadn't investigated it. I don't know. Maybe he didn't realize that other people are getting more battery. So I've talked to several people, and it seems consistently that most people are getting 5 to maybe 8 hours of screen on time. Again, that's like a 2-day phone for most people. When you look, like I have people that tell me they don't kill the Z Flip 3 in a day, and they're like, oh, this phone I've got 60% at the end of the day. If you turn on different features like your adaptive brightness, and you're probably going what is adaptive brightness? And let me show you the other way to get to the battery statistics. I forgot. So we'll swipe down here. If you swipe down and you go over to battery saver and press and hold, it takes you here as well. So that's the 2 ways to get here. And what else we'll do is we'll look here at the display. So under the display settings, here's some stuff that saves battery life. Right here, adaptive brightness. If you have that turned on, which is on by default, then it adapts the brightness on your screen to your surroundings and makes it lighter or darker to save battery life. So that's one thing. Then also your screen timeout. You can have that for lower, so it's not just burning up your display. Down here, you can turn off smooth display. That way you've got 60 Hertz instead of 120 Hertz. That saves battery too. So there are things you can do, and then put it in battery saver mode if you really need to. But I wanted to take a minute and highlight this because people seem to be concerned, because there's 1 or 2 people that said, oh, the battery life is terrible, and then, or at least alluded that it's not good. And I've made videos. I made videos upon videos about the Note 20 Ultra battery life, about the Z Flip 3 battery life, about the Fold 3 battery life, about the S21 Ultra. I am hypercritical when it comes to battery, and I'm sitting here going, I'm getting good battery. I mean, if I didn't have my brightness on 90% all day and I had adaptive brightness on, I'd probably squeak 2 or 3 more hours out of the battery life on this. So I've been very happy with it for what it is. It's the best battery life I've ever gotten out of a Pixel, and hands down with the performance, the 120 Hertz, the big Quad HD, beautiful display, I think 6 hours screen on time is fine. And for a normal person, that's probably going to get you through the day with no issues. I stand pretty firmly behind that. And even if you are a power user and like just always your screen is on and you're just killing it like I am, I think you're going to get 6 hours. So yeah, especially because most people don't turn off adaptive brightness. That's on there already. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about here real quick. All right, so we went through, we looked at it. You know how to get your battery life, how you can find out what kind of screen on time you're getting. Now you know 2 different ways to get to your battery life. And on top of that, maybe what you might could expect, you can go check your usage, see if it lines up. But the moral of the story here is, if however you're using your phone, if it gets you through the day and you're not too worried about it, you're probably getting okay battery life. Probably better than you expect. Or you may be getting less than you expect, but it just happens to be what you need. So not everybody's use case is similar. When it comes to screen on time, it can be a moving target. And it's very important when you talk about screen on time to have context, because you could say you get 10 hours of screen on time and I get 6 hours of screen on time, and that doesn't tell the picture. If I turn off adaptive brightness, if I turn off adaptive battery, if I don't use any battery saving stuff whatsoever, if I've got 120 Hertz on, my brightness is at 100%, and I'm playing games all day, yeah, you could probably kill it in 3 or 4 hours. But if you have adaptive brightness on and your screen is dimmer, you have 120 Hertz turned off, you have battery saving mode turned on, yeah, you could probably squeak 10, 12 hours out of it. So it's very important to look at that stuff. So the more features you have that save battery turned on, the better battery life you're going to get. Screen on time is not always the best indicator. But for me, I use everything maxed out. I don't really use a whole lot of battery saving anything. I don't even use dark mode half the time. So that when I look at that stuff and I tell people, look, I'm getting this kind of time with these kind of settings, then you go, okay, that sounds pretty good. If I'm running at 100% and I'm getting this, then that's good. Or if it's running 100%, you're not getting that, then that could be bad in some certain situations. So I wanted to talk about it, shed some light on this, empower you, give you some education to check your own battery settings. And again, if it gets you through the day, it's probably all right. But if it's not and you've got some concerns, maybe you could have a bad unit, there could be underlying software. Maybe we can make a video about that later to see if you have a culprit that's just draining your battery, if that's a problem. But for today, this is what I wanted to cover. Again, I'm getting 6 hours of screen on time pretty much on the regular on this thing. The only thing that really diminishes it, if you play a bunch of video games, if you do a bunch of video stuff, like if you're recording video with your camera, that makes the processor work. And over time, it's basically the most intensive thing that the phone does. Other than high-end gaming, the phone will get hot. And anytime you can tell the phone's warming up, battery life's going down a lot faster. So just to put some of those things in perspective. Hopefully this has been a helpful video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.